Hi friends and fellow Earth Angels, it's Gladys, and welcome back to another one of my weekly Sunday card readings. And this spread will start by covering August 2nd to the 8th, or whenever you're guided to watch, as I always intend these to be timeless readings. I mean, you can come back and watch at any time in the future, and you can still receive very poignant, profound messages. You could even listen during this week and then come back months from now and receive a whole different message. Energy is pliable, it's malleable, it's flexible. It's all about like movement and flow. So this week I decided to pull energies, card energies where we can receive messages and insight to support our own inner guidance and intuition. We have a powerful week this week. We have the full moon in Aquarius, and we're going to finish out the week with the 8/8 Lionsgate Portal, like the peak of the energy. So new moons is a really great time to purge and release and flush out anything that you're ready to let go of and get rid of, any attachments, any addictions, any forms of codependency on things. Like this would be a really great moon to release it. The Lionsgate Portal, like the portal energy is open. It opened on July 25th and it'll close on August 12th. It peaks on August 8th. This is like our spiritual new year. It happens every year. We integrate a lot of the energies, a lot of the insights that we've experienced throughout the year. And when I asked my guides before I started, like, what is the theme of this week and what do I need, to share with the group? And the message I got was redefining who am I? Who am I? So there's a lot of things that have shifted with this global pandemic that we've been in and the shutdown of many things, sports, Hollywood, like sitcoms and movies. Things have been shut down like restaurants and bars and clubs, anywhere there's gatherings where we could escape into to get away from our own shadow work, challenges, our own inner child work that we need to do. We escaped into these things to skirt around our feelings and our emotions. And these last 7 months have just been raw, seeing things, experiencing things that we might have been avoiding. I was just saying to a friend of mine that I felt last week this buildup of emotion, and I knew I was avoiding it. I was, just cleaning everything, and I was watching TV, and I knew there was like this annoying, like it was almost like a finger tapping my shoulder saying, we need to speak to you. You need to know this. And I was just, nope, I don't hear you. Like the fingers in the ear saying, la, 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 no, no, no. And finally, I was just so exhausted one day. And I'm like, all right, I surrender. And, some memories came up that I didn't want to face and some experiences that I had in my past that I really needed to revisit. And so I share these because it's often easy for the viewers to think that I've been doing this a long time. I have a lot of wisdom, but I'm also human. And, I do need to continue to support my own healing. I need to, just as you, need to continue connecting with spiritual advisors or praying and meditating because we're getting deeper into the who am I. And so for the last 6 months or so, the divine kept showing up with many different messages, teaching us about our foundational roots, prayer, meditation, connecting with nature, going within, listening to that still small voice within our inner wisdom, because as we start getting activated to make changes, we'll need to check in with ourselves. This isn't about it's almost like the deconstruction of the identity. If you were the caretaker, or if you ran around did errands for people, if you were the school mom who volunteered, if you were the super dad, or you were the what else? The teacher, the one everybody went to with this global pandemic that we've been in. A lot of those roles were shut down, and it really forced us to go within and ask ourselves, well, who am I outside of this job, outside of this family that doesn't need me right now, outside of these children, these experiences? Who am I? And so now this would be a really good time this week to really settle in, to gather that insight. My inquiry question is, God, show me how I may be a beacon of light. Show me the next step in my journey. And you're going to get baby steps. You're going to get action steps. Doors are going to open, opportunities along the way, but you're never going to really know the full plan. And this is why being present and enjoying the moment is so powerful. And it's in the present moment that we receive messages. We see signs from animals, we get messages from numbers, we get messages and medicine from nature. We even get insight from the moon and the wisdom, depending on the shadow and what sign the moon is in. And then also too, there's the sacred geometry, the shapes and the vibrations that we see in this planet. So those are the cards that I pulled to give you some insight to support you in the I am that I am. That is like, I am myself, my soul, and that I am is a connection and a conscious awareness that you are a spiritual being. So really, it's like it's the awareness that you're a spiritual being having a human experience. And so you're being asked, now and then throughout the rest of the year, to rediscover the essence of who you are, your purpose. There's a lot of people moving around right now and shifting, job changes I'm hearing, and people being moved now to their homes or different departments in their work, in their family dynamic, their roles. So the power of being present in flow is really important right now. So the decks that I'm going to be using to gather some insight is the Archangel Animal Oracle cards, Nature's Whispers, Numerology, Moonology, and Sacred Geometry Activations. So these are all ways that we can receive insight and guidance. And these tools should always be a support for you to empower what you already know deep down within. Cards and these signs and these things that come in shouldn't be like, oh, I can't do this until I consult the cards, or my reader or somebody needs to tell me what to do. This is a big reason why I don't offer card readings for personal readings, because it can easily become, oh, I need to consult the cards. I need the cards to tell me what to do. And, and some of you may do that, and that's okay, only to a point where you start getting more confused, more frustrated, the cards start not making sense. And this is why during my sessions, if any of you had readings with me, a lot of the times I pull a card at the end of the session. And always, I was going to say almost always, but that's false. Every single time I pull a card at the end of the session, it validates the entire session. It's almost like if you've had a reading with me and you've had that experience at the end of the session, I say so often, and that is the mic drop. It's like the angels were like, bam, there it is, mic drop, and they walk out, and then I finish the session. It's really cool how the divine works with these readings, and it's always it's always sessions that give you an opportunity to sort things out or understand or really help you to know that you're not alone. And so what it does is it raises your vibration when you have that spiritual boost. And you can do this on your own by going outside, getting in the ocean, hugging a tree, buying some flowers and sitting in the beauty of the flowers, getting some breath work in, some rest, take a nap. These are all natural ways. You don't need spiritual support. Now, I think it's important to weave throughout your life. I certainly have my spiritual mentors and my spiritual teachers that I go to, but it's usually from a place of, this is how I'm feeling, this is the knowing, let me just check in and let me just get some guidance, and it just kind of it's like the miracle grow. I'm already growing, it's just the miracle grow that gives me a boost. So these animal medicines, the moon medicine, nature medicine, the number medicine can also be things in the present moment that can assist you on this journey. And it's really the activation of the divine feminine, whether you could resonate with a masculine or feminine energy. That divine feminine intuition and receptivity activates this deep inner wisdom within you, and you literally start seeing the world in a different way. You start seeing patterns, you start reading energies about people. Now, it's none of your business to get involved in other people's energies and what they're doing and what they should and shouldn't do. I always say that's a slippery slope, but when you're getting information and insight, use that. When I hear things or something comes up, I'm like, I'm going to take that nugget and I'm going to store it away, or, I'm going to remember that, because what I have found on my journey, that God always tells me way before something unfolds. So if there's something sneaky going on, or if there's something up, I'll get insight and I'll be like, all right, I'm going to bank that. And then something might unfold and I'm like, oh, see, God always has my back. Archangel Michael, he has moved mountains for me, and it really just reinforces my faith in the divine and the work they're doing. And this is just something that's everyday life, connecting, being open, being aware of the wisdom, being conscious that there's a force working with you, is going to keep you in a sacred space for a long period of time. This is why the Buddhist monks, they do meditations and they do rituals every single day, because they know, and even Christians, when they talk about connecting with Jesus and going to the Bible and fellowship and feeding your soul, because they know that evil consciousness is sneaky. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing spiritual work. It's always important to maintain a clear energy. And when you're consciously aware, the numbers, the Mother Nature, the animals, the moon, even sacred geometry and the vibrations and the shapes you see in the world. If you're very left brain oriented, you'll see patterns with sacred geometry. And these will give you insight and information. This is why it's so powerful, my friends, and this is why it's been suppressed for so long. But the awakening in the consciousness of this vibration is happening so fast that it's really hard to shut it down. So, all right, there's so much happening. So let me just get into the reading. All right, so I'm going to start with the Archangel Animal deck. So let me invite in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, God, source, creator of the universe, and all his holy beings of light who would like to assist. I'm going to call on the divine mother, the divine feminine energies, and I'm going to ask that any messages that come through be for your best and highest good and the best and highest good of all concerned. All right, friends, let's see. What animal medicine wants to come up for us this week? Let's see. These cards are a little bendy. Animal medicine this week. What animal medicine does the collective need? Wow. Hello. There it is. That was quick. There's only one. Oh, okay. So bring your life into balance. I giggle because this is something that I've been working on with myself, and balancing the masculine and feminine, taking action and then pulling back and being open and having patience and waiting for the next steps to unfold. So Bring your life into balance. So this has been something that the angels have been talking about, the divine has been talking about for months, the masculine and feminine balance. And last week, Lord Shiva showed up just as we entered Leo season, which is a fire sign. It's usually connected to a masculine energy. And so we had been so much in rest, spiritual insight, getting into spiritual wisdom, reading. We've been doing so much in the shadow that I felt like Lord Shiva came in last week and brought in the masculine energy, and he's saying, okay, it's time to go out in the sun, take action, go be amongst the people where it's safe. So here we are with the Badger energy, embracing this balance. Let me see here. I'm just going to take a peek at the book and see if there's any additional insight. When you receive this card, it suggests you need to strengthen your aura by building your confidence and expanding your heart. If you remember last week, we finished with the last card was cleanse your energy. And so it's kind of like dusting. You know, you can dust, and then maybe a couple weeks later, depending on your house and your filtration system, the dust will be back. It's just something that's part of the journey. So when you go out and you're amongst people, there's lots of fragmented energy out there. So it's important to maintain this regular cleansing ritual, just like you take a shower on a regular basis, right? It takes care of your body. It keeps you healthy and clean and smelling nice. So we have to value this spiritual cleansing just as much as brushing your teeth, putting gas in your car, maintaining your vehicle, getting oil changes, like I said, taking a shower and cleaning your physical body. So where are you lacking in your life right now? How are you working towards maintaining this balance? It says, invoke the great Archangel Mary and ask her to bathe you in love. Then sit quietly to receive. It's a really great cleansing technique. Breathe in her energy and then breathe it out around you until you are surrounded by a blue cocoon of high frequency light. This will help you to deal with any negativity others are sending towards you. You know, and the negativities could be judgments, it could be expectations, projections, right? I mean, it's not uncommon that there's a lot of emotional energy on this planet right now. There's a lot of upheaval in people and their judgments and their expectations and their shoulds and shouldn'ts and all this stuff. And it can be really yucky for an earth angel, an empathic person, a highly sensitive person, a healer, an intuitive. And so, you know, I always know that these readings are supporting you for the future. They're laying a foundation for you. And this isn't coming from a place like, oh, you should do this, or bad things are going to happen to you, and low vibrational spirits are going to get you. And that's not where we're coming from. It's important for you to stay healthy and strong, right? Could eat McDonald's every single day and not take care of your body, and eventually you'll be affected by it, right? So we know the value of eating healthy foods, drinking water, getting laughter and play. So especially if some of you out there have been moving and shifting and you've been making big changes in your life, how can you go back to the basics? The Badgers also call you to do service work for the planet. Connect to their energy through this card and then link to Archangel Sandalphon, the great silver angel in charge of the Earth star. Let Archangel Mary's love and light flow through you into the earth and direct it through the ley lines. Picture them becoming golden and radiant. The Badgers remind you to bring your life into balance. This may be to draw your leisure and work lives into harmony, to share chores in your home, or to bring your masculine and feminine energies into equilibrium. Then you can fulfill your purpose with joy. Some of you may not even be sure like what that means or what it is. I mean, a lot of times we are unconscious beings just kind of repeating cycles in life unaware. And so maybe an inquiry this week and saying, okay, God, okay, divine, okay, Mother Earth, show me where I'm out of balance, and really kind of being able to sit in that. You may not get anything and until afterwards you try to do something or something happens and you're like, oh, that's it. I always say, ask and you shall receive. So be mindful that, when you do ask, that the clear and perfect truth is going to come to you. So additional messages from Nature's Whispers. What medicine from Mother, what medicine does Mother Nature have for you? What message does she have for you this week? Medicine is like, I think of that word as like healing. So there's 2 here. It helps you feel better. Let's see. Bountiful harvest. We have here. And let's see. Shift your energy. Wow. What? So I'm just noticing 28, 8 plus 2 is 10. What is that? 19. I was like, my contacts were getting a little blurry. 19, 9 plus 1 equals 10. So we have 2 1 cards. And a lot of the energy work that's been out there has been talking about cycles ending. Like this, we've been in this cycle. I forget how many years it is. They've talked a lot about in the astrology readings that we're ending a karmic cycle. So a lot of you have been working through karmic relationships, karmic ties and binds, patterns and cycles that are within you, clearing out past life stuff, which, I do have my past life reading, oracle card reading. It will be available this week and for the next few weeks. So before I forget, I might as well just say it now. I'm going to put a link to it, to my online subscription. It is an hour session. It is a video chat session. And if you feel like you've been doing this work and you're feeling like there's still some blocks, or you're feeling like, gosh, where are these patterns coming from? And you feel like it may be from a past life, I've designed an oracle card reading to give you more insight. It's something I've been working with clients for at least a month and a half now, but I wasn't really confident in the cards I was using and the way I was using it until, just recently. So I finally have a flow that I'm really confident in to support you with that. And so we're moving into this new, like a new energy. This Lionsgate Portal is opening up a new spiritual year. And so we're in for, of course, 8s, right? 8 is an abundant number. It's a infinity number. It's a receiving, a giving and receiving, a vibration. That's where the balance comes from, right? Also too, so check in with that, not necessarily masculine or feminine, or if you're resting or taking action, the balance could also be how much are you giving and how much are you receiving. That could be another form of balance. And so the universe is saying, we want to give you abundance. We need you to be open and receptive to receiving, because we need you to be the example, the light on this planet. So I know that I, for example, it can be an inspiration for people who want to get into this field and do this type of work. And so I ask God to use me as a vehicle, as a beacon of light, to shower me with abundance and knowledge and wisdom to be able to support people. But I also know that just me being who I am is an embodiment of the light on this planet, and just being out, just radiating that light is a gift. Just like when you activate that light and you're in your heart center and you're sending beautiful, balanced love to the planet, there are people that are out there be like, there's something about that one, or, she's just got something. I don't know what it is. Or, you know what? He's just got this confidence about him that I just can't pinpoint where it comes from. I always say it's the divine. It's that divine creator force that flows through us of pure unconditional love. And this is what you've been working towards when you've been pulled out of these responsibilities and these artificial hats you've been wearing, right? In the 3D world. When all of that was stripped this last year, it was like, well, who am I outside of mom, sister, friend, teacher, coworker, brother, uncle, like all these hats in the world, this identity. A lot of earth angels have been stripped from that. And it's like, wow, all I got is me. And then that activated the shadow work, right? The inner child stuff. We started to become aware of the patterns and the cycles and the rhythms, like, oh, there that is again. Where does that come from? And then especially starting in March and April with this global shutdown, all we were was stuck with ourselves and the challenges. I was going to say problems, but challenges. So if you were home with your kids and stuff needed to be worked out with that, or you were home with your spouse and stuff needed to be worked out there, or you weren't happy in your job and now you were home, or you were let go, you really got to you had to deal with that. Some of you maybe were alone and isolated and had to work through that because you're so used to being around people. So we've been doing a lot of this shadow work digging. And I feel like the universe is now saying, through this Lionsgate portal, this beginning, this one, we want to send you abundance because we're going to use you to be a beacon of light on the planet. And all you got to do is enjoy it. All you got to do is play in it and laugh it and do your inner work and share. I say so often that I didn't just fall out of the womb like this. Like, I have a dark past. I have gone through some heavy stuff. And it's through those experiences that I've evolved, and then I can help and support people on their own journey. Earth angels have chosen a path of trials and tribulations and challenges, but you're coming out of the dark into the dawn, right? Shifting your energy into higher vibrations of light, right? I keep hearing that saying, I'm of the world. I'm in the world, but I'm not of the world. That is the Earth Angels. We are here to show the planet that there's a different way. This is why we're getting the entrepreneur energy popping up, working through your divine feminine, creating love and beauty in the world through creating and arts and manifesting. And you're not going to be able to do that if you have not activated your divine feminine energy. It just doesn't work that way. You end up creating from your masculine, which is manipulation in a lot of ways. Now, I'm not saying the masculine's manipulation. That's not what I'm saying. But when you naturally operate in your divine feminine, but you go into your masculine, like, I'm going to do something to get something. I'm going to do these positive affirmations to get this relationship or to get this healthy body, to get this. It doesn't work like that, right? We have to be in complete and full and immersed in acceptance and forgiveness. And from there, our heart opens up to joy. And then we start owning, God, more of this in my life or something even better. This feels good. More of this or something even better. But if you're still in your mental mind of strategizing, like, well, I'm going to do this, so God will bring me more of this. It just doesn't work that way. I hope I'm explaining it properly. It's actually, you've got to anchor it in your physical body. When I feel love, I really, it goes through my crown chakra, my throat, my third eye, did I say that right? It goes through my crown chakra, my third eye, my throat, and then into my heart. And from there, it expands outwardly. So I feel it in my physical body as in like a pull. So when I work with clients and I'm done, I'm like, yes, I feel it in my body. Those are my people. That's what I'm destined to do on this planet. And I just feel it in my body. Now, if there's any insecurities, if there's any self-doubt, self-esteem issues, if there's any disempowerment, those memories from childhood are going to come up. You know, people who may have suppressed that part of you, that needs to come up and out in order for it to clear so that you can anchor the energy in your body. So this is where I keep saying this shadow work is like a dance, right? You know, you can't make something happen. It's going to happen organically and spontaneously, giving yourself space like, oh, there it is. Now I have to say, last week, you know, I knew it was coming and I was avoiding it. And then when I was like, oh, it hit me like that light bulb. I'm like, oh, I'm avoiding it. All right, I just got to lay down and be with it. And I surrendered into it and I was like, all right, God, what do you got for me? And then I was just activated with these memories that brought up shame within me and sadness and grief. And I'm like, this is why I didn't want to go here. But then afterwards, I allowed that energy to flow through my body, to just feel it and really soothe myself. And then afterwards, I was like, well, what was the lesson in that? What do I need to know from that experience? And it was like, this is why you're doing what you're doing. This is why we have you working in the field that you're working in, empowering women, strengthening the divine feminine energy with insight, intuition. Is like, this is why you've done it. You've been here. And now we're going to need you to be able to have compassion and empathy and understand how hard it is to either leave these situations or stand in your power or use your voice, set boundaries. And I'm like, I got it. And then at that moment, I had peace and I fell asleep. The next thing I knew, I wake up the next morning. And I was like, why did I skirt around that for so long? It's almost like that ego part of you knows it's about to get some insight and things are going to change. So that may come up for you guys this week. You know, like I said, it's no coincidence that I pulled 2 different cards in a different part of the deck that each equals 10, which is 1, which is like a brand new energy coming in. All right, so let me get some medicine from the numerology medicine. What additional messages does the divine have for you? Numerology. Let's see. This number could come up for you this week. Oh, come on, I love it. 44. And my angel groupies, you know that 44 is the angels. I see that number as in the angel number, meaning hundreds of thousands of angels are with you. Ask them anything. 4 is also a stability number, right? So balance, being open to receive, clearing your energy. These healthy skills will help you have a clear, clean environment. Maybe some of you, I guess, again, this also feels like cleansing, you know, so if you've done a lot of emotional healing lately, really kind of, if you go back and listen to that meditation that I read with the badger and calling in the Archangel Mary's energy, bringing it into your heart, radiating that golden light all around your room, or blue, I think she was like a blue light of, like a cocoon of blue light. And being able to immerse your whole house in that, your body, your energy. I think that's important. Your environment and your home is your stability. It's your structure. It's your foundation. So you're acquiring, let me see. What's the word I want to use? You're acquiring, I want to say foundational roots to secure you as you begin to move about. Because understand, like, we live in a world of chaos. Like, that's what the 3D world is. And don't get me wrong, friends, that world can be a lot of fun. It can be a lot of fun. This is why people get lost in it and drift farther and farther away from the divine. So it doesn't have to be all or nothing, right? We can integrate it and also be empowered by it. I was driving somewhere the other day and like people were just acting crazy. There was traffic from lanes being shut down and I could feel the energy of the around me. I could start feeling the anxiety kick in. And I was like, no, stop. I am the empowered one. I have the power. I'm like, it can't take from me. God's energy is abundant. So I was able to like shift it. And I was like, I kind of got like fierce. Like this wild part of me said, no, I'm in charge of my own energy. And it was really just kind of setting a force field, almost like I was putting up a shield or like a barrier. And really, I just kind of, asked Archangel Michael to clear the way and fill me up. And I felt so much better after that. So we have to remember that people don't have power or places, things, ideas. It doesn't have power over us unless we let it, unless we allow it. So if you start to feel that pull, or if people are like just being negative or they're just complaining and you're just feeling that drain, you can in the moment say to yourself, stop. I am the empowered one. My energy is my own. And you can energetically ask Archangel Michael to cut any attachments. Now, that doesn't mean you have to run away from the person. You can certainly be in the conversation with them, but you don't have to be pulled into and be consumed by it. And so I've been practicing that. I've had a few people like around me this last week where we're just sharing stories and we're just kind of complaining about things and whatever, that's human, but I could feel a pull and I'm like, no. I am the empowered one. I'm like, God's energy is abundant and I'm filled with that abundant energy. So, and that comes from mindfulness and meditation and being aware of how you're feeling and being present with it instead of being immersed in other people's energy. So that's a little tip to be able to help you find balance, especially for intuitives and healers. You want to work with people. You also want to learn how to maintain your own energy through it, or you're going to go through these highs and lows and it's going to be like, why am I doing this? So if you see 44s this week, partially it's angels letting you know that they're with you, creating structure and order. I'm seeing the emerald green here, which is a healing color. So you can imagine yourself surrounded in that green light of healing. There's this beautiful emerald color here and this mint green color. So for me, I would connect it to the Archangel Emerald with Archangel Raphael, the angel of healing. The mint green with Archangel Shamuel. He's the angel of transition and change. And so we're leaving an old cycle, a karmic cycle, a very painful cycle, shadow work. We're going into a new cycle. Not completely sure what's going to happen, but you're going to need the boundaries, the action taking, the inspired action. You're going to need to feel out the pull. You're going to need your own inner wisdom to support you into this next phase that we're moving into. I know many of you feel it. So moon medicine. What is the moon? What insight does the moon want you to know? Again, as I record this, I think the full moon in Aquarius is on August 3rd. I think it's like 12 in the afternoon for the East Coast. East Coast. And like 8 something Pacific in the morning, 8 in the morning for Pacific. So anyway, powerful energies this week. Moon medicine. Nothing is set in stone. I love it. A mutable moon, even better. So nothing is set in stone, meaning that if you make a decision, a small step, it does not mean it has to be for the whole rest of your life. Sometimes baby steps, small actions lead to something big, right? If you go on a hike, the whole of the hike consists of many tiny steps, right? Many steps. When I go for a walk, my mileage, say I walk 2.5 miles, that 2.5 miles consists of 1,000 or 2,000 steps or whatever. I think it's like 1,500 steps or something. So that I could take that whole 2.5 miles and break it down to, let's say, 1,500 steps. So I feel like they're saying nothing is set in stone, and go into this next phase knowing that your life is malleable and pliable, and it's gonna shift and it's gonna move. And the more you want, the more that you want, things around you need to shift and change and get on board. So nothing is set in stone. And that can be scary for some people. You know, my solar plexus is getting activated a little bit. So just that statement could be scary, especially for maybe you Capricorns out there, or you planners. You're the ones that like to know what's going to happen because anxiety gets activated. When you can really practice being in flow and honor your emotions and how you're feeling, you learned how to empower yourself with healthy tools. And those, it will be different for everybody. Some people like to use sage. Some people like to use Palo Santo for cleansing. Some people like to use crystals. Some people like to use drums. Some people like to use singing bowls. Some people like to listen to binaural beats. Some people like to listen to meditations. Do you see what I mean? Like, there's so much out there. Some people like to use bubbles of light to clear. Some people like to use angels. Nothing is really wrong if it's working for you. Energy is all about intention. Like, what is your intention going into it? Free and clear that ego part that wants to control it and be responsible for it. It just doesn't work like that way, and it's just going to make you feel more tired. So, know that whatever decision you make, just make a decision, and it does not have to be the rest of your life. Is that mantra I always use, is you don't have to know where you're going so long as you know you're on your way. And I know I talked about this in one of my readings about failure and mistakes, and it's just an opportunity for you to realize, like, oh, nope, that's not the direction. I just got an image of a maze, and in a maze, one of the mazes that the kids use, there's usually like a line that just blocks off the path. And what do? You're like, oh, nope, not that way. You erase it and you kind of go the other way. So if you can think about the appearance of failure and mistakes as just, nope, it's more clarity that it's not that way. Nope, that's not the way to do it. And you just kind of turn yourself around and keep going. So let me finish here. Are these all of them? Yes. Did I do all of them? Yes. So let me finish with the sacred geometry. What is being activated within you this week? Sacred geometry activations. Compassion. Yes. 6. There's that green again. The mint greens. Beautiful colors. So the message, let me see here. It says the frequency of compassion supports our ability to stand by others without judgment and be the divine mediator between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, so that unconditional love can flow from source through our heart and into the world. Friends, I'm telling you, this is the 9-year cycle of reintegrating true love back on the planet. And although partnerships and, the soul contracts with soulmates and twin flames and divine partners is part of it, it is the union within yourself, the balance of the masculine and feminine within you. It's the individual that rises, that then comes together and aligns with your matches, your new, I want to say tribe, but not like a tribe where you can't do anything without each other. I always say it's like wolf energy. Wolf can certainly survive on its own, and then it's magical in a pack. So you're individualizing, you're coming into harmony with your own inner masculine and own inner feminine, which is the beginning of this. And the reason is to bring compassion onto this planet. Remember right here, it said the frequency of compassion supports our ability to stand by others without judgment. There's a lot of judgment and projections in this world. People, you did this and they should do that. And, it's a hot button for me because it's so draining, and we need to kind of pull back as Earth Angel and form like an energetic circle. We need to kind of all just kind of band together and create an energetic circle. It's like I'm getting that image of the Care Bear stare. Remember in the Care Bears, they all kind of stood in the line. Tell me this isn't divine. They all stood in the line, and each one of them had a symbol on their belly, which was like their gift, which was like their superpower. And so many of you've learned what your superpower is, or you're coming into what your gift is. And maybe it hasn't been activated yet to work with others, and that's why it's so confusing. But you've been learning how to maintain your superpower in your physical body and your mental health and your spiritual insight. You've been learning how to maintain all that. And I just saw an image of us all coming together, joined together, kind of like the Care Bears, where you just they put their hands on their hips and they just say Care Bear stare. It's so funny why it's so cutesy the way my guides channel for me. I know some are really more intense, but mine are just cutesy and soft and loving, and I mean that's just me. So, and then they each radiate their gifts out to help somebody, right? And so I feel like that's what Badger was saying. That's what the sacred geometry is saying. Shift your energy, pull out of that which you're getting pulled into. It's stealing or robbing you of your bountiful harvest, right? It's lowering your vibration, and you're aligning to more of that energy. And so know that if you made decisions and you got into it and you're like, yeah, this is just not for me, or this is not what I thought it was, start praying and ask God to shift you out of it, and that can certainly happen. I mean, I'm getting emails from some of you, and you're sharing how your world is changing right now, and we keep getting the messages, keep the faith, or leap of faith, and all these things. So you're not alone in this. If you found my channel, you found it for a reason, and this is just here to support you and empower you, and I commend you for showing up to this work. It's not easy. It really is kind of easy, much easier to like stay asleep and not want to feel and see and know, but Earth Angels, eventually it turns into pain, eventually it turns into maybe illness, or something happens to shift. You have this awakeness, this loss of somebody close to you, and really just kind of awakens you. So yes, it says, be the divine mediator between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, so that unconditional love can flow from source. The divine needs you to be the vehicle of the energy, and you're making a conscious choice by raising your hands and opening your hearts upwards, right, to the divine. You're this beautiful energy that's sending out love to the planet, right? Sending that unconditional love. Earth angels, I truly believe Earth angels have come into this world with the embodiment of unconditional love. And we have been giving it away to people who don't value it, people who don't understand it, people who want to manipulate and control it. And that's nothing on them. We also allow that, right? Because we're getting something that needs to be needed from that vibration. But it's almost like the universe is like, time out. Nope, we're done. We're not doing that anymore. And it's no coincidence that this 11 came up. I know the Aquarius full moon, the way the degrees are, the sun is in Leo. I don't know what the degree is, and the moon will be in Aquarius. And the way the numbers align, it's 1111. So it's another 1111 vibration. So those of you who are into astrology, like we got double, like 1 here, we got 4 here. This is the medicine. This is the divine showing us. Of course, we have 6, which is family, home, family, home within our physical body, going home to God, not necessarily like physically transition, but remembering, God's got our back and he's working with us, taking care of and cleaning out and clearing out the energy in your environment, in your own home, in your workspace, things like that. So let me close space. Let me thank all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, God source, creator of the universe, and all his holy beings of light that assisted, the divine mother. And I'm going to ask that any healing that was started today continue for as long as it needs to be done. And so it is. All right, friends. So just another, like an announcement I mentioned earlier, I do have my past life regression, past life oracle card reading. It's not a regression. If you want to get some clarity, if you've had some cycles, or you're feeling a certain way and you want to get more insight, that is now available. It's a video chat session. I start with pulling 2 past life oracle cards, and then we go into soul, like what the soul needs you to know. We get in some insight with some angel therapy work. So it's a nice full session. It's video recorded, so you'll get a copy of it. And I'll tell you, it's been pretty amazing how every single one has been different. It's been pretty amazing how it's all unfolded. So if that's something you're interested in, the link is below. All right, so thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your likes, subscribes, and shares. If you want to stay connected, I had a client reach out to me and say that, I haven't seen your videos in a while, and then I just saw it pop up on my Facebook, and oh my God, it was exactly what I needed. And so that's how the algorithms work. If you don't click like, or you don't show interest, my videos will disappear. I mean, anything, and not just me, anything that you don't pay attention to. And unfortunately, that's just the way the system works. So if you want to stay connected, you can hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And every time I post a reading, which is I intend it to be every Sunday at 7 a.m. 7 is a spiritual number, it's an insight number, and that's why I chose 700 to put it out, but that's East Coast time. So probably over on the Pacific, on the West Coast, you're getting it at 4 in the morning. So, but anyway, that's how you can stay connected. So thank you so much for sharing me with your friends and your family and your partners, and it's just the greatest honor. So I love you for that. Thank you so much. Remember that God loves you. Trust in the divine. Trust your intuition. And I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.